everyone. Today I want to share with you this nonfiction book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all small stuff. This book was originally published in 1997 and was written by Richard Carlson. This inspirational little book spent over 100 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list and has been translated into 26 languages and published in 135 countries. It's become a worldwide phenomenon, and it's still just as relevant, or perhaps even more so now than ever before. In our busy, chaotic, stress-filled lives, we start to let those little things drive us crazy, and we lose our perspective about what's really important in life. This book teaches us how to put things into perspective and to learn to think differently and to act differently too. Making small daily changes can result in being calmer and living a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Remember, don't sweat the small stuff. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Life is really not as bad as we sometimes make it out to be. Often, we let ourselves get all worked up about little things that aren't really that big a deal. We focus on the little problems and concerns and blow them out of proportion. This book teaches simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life. Surrender to the fact that life isn't fair. The author writes this: a friend of mine asked me the question, who said that life was going to be fair, or that it was even meant to be fair? Her question was a good one. It reminded me of something I was taught as a youngster. Life isn't fair. It's a bummer, but it's absolutely true. Ironically, recognizing this sobering fact can be very liberating insight. One of the mistakes many of us make is that we feel sorry for ourselves or for others, thinking that life should be fair or that someday it will be. It's not, and it won't. One of the nice things about surrendering to the fact that life isn't fair is that it keeps us from feeling sorry for ourselves by encouraging us to do the very best we can with what we have. We know that it's not life's job to make everything perfect. It's our own challenge. Surrendering to this fact also keeps us from feeling sorry for others because we're reminded that everyone is dealt a different hand and everyone has unique strengths and challenges. Learn to live life in the present moment and stop postponing your happiness. What's stopping us? We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get a promotion, or when I find a new job, or when I meet the right person. Meanwhile, life goes on around us, when actually there is no better time to be happy than right now. Life will always be filled with problems and obstacles and challenges, but you can still be happy anyway. You just have to decide to allow yourself to be happy despite life's trials and tribulations, and find your sense of inner peace in the present, regardless of what happened yesterday or last year or what might happen tomorrow. The present moment is where you should live always. Transform your relationship to your problems. The author writes this: obstacles and problems are a part of life. True happiness comes not when we get rid of all of our problems, but when we change our relationship to them, when we see our problems as a potential source of awakening, opportunities to practice patience and to learn. Certainly, some problems need to be solved, but many others, however, are problems that we create for ourselves by struggling to make our life different than it actually is. Inner peace is accomplished by understanding and accepting the inevitable contradictions of life, the pain and the pleasure, success and failure, joy and sorrow, births and deaths. Problems can teach us to be gracious, humble, and patient. And finally, live each day as if it were your last, because it might be. The truth is, none of us has any idea how long we have to live. Sadly, we act as if we're going to live forever. We postpone the things that deep down we know we want to do, telling the people we love how much we care, visiting a good friend, writing a heartfelt letter, spending time with our children. We come up with elaborate and sophisticated rationales to justify our actions and end up spending most of our time and energy doing things that aren't really that important. Live each day as if it were your last on earth. Now, this is not a prescription to be reckless or to abandon your responsibilities, but to remind you of how precious life really is. These are just a few of the many thoughtful and insightful ideas presented in this little book, and I highly recommend it. The author, Richard Carlson, guides the reader with gentle, supportive suggestions about how to put things into perspective and live a calmer, less stressful life. Sadly, he died at just 45 years old, but his memory, along with his books, continue to live on and remind us not to sweat the small stuff and that it's all small stuff. Thanks for watching today. Click below if you like this video and subscribe. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.